Hi there, John Jalango, and this is the Bipolar Ambassador channel where I talk about bipolar occurrences and situations and all things concerning bipolar. And in this episode, we're going to discuss something that one of my faithful subscribers asked me to talk about, and this is the topic of triggers. You know who you are, so I'm just going to try and be as explicit and as detailed as I can, and just try and give you as much information that I can come up with concerning the topic of triggers. Now, triggers are factors that affect or bring up the onset of a bipolar episode. Mine mainly happened when maybe a major event was going to happen in my life. For example, the May 21st incident, where I thought that the world was coming to disaster and there was all talk about the world coming to an end. And when you're bipolar, you tend to take things maybe a little seriously, and especially when you're not taking your medication. This is always when I've found my triggers to be most prevalent. And I've noticed that when I don't take my medication, this in itself is a trigger. It's the biggest trigger. It's where I have failed countless times. In fact, every time I've ended up in a manic situation, I've noticed that it's because I did not take my medication. So I urge all of you who are interested in learning about these triggers, the first thing is taking your medication. When you upset that balance, you lose a lot of vital, how do you call it? Vital leeway that you had over your disease, because you have changed the course of everything. By not taking your medication, all of a sudden you're not functioning in the same way that you were before, and so you've affected the balance, the chemical balance, and bipolar is perpetrated upon a chemical imbalance. Therefore, when you stop taking your medication, this is the beginning of the end. This in itself is the first and major trigger that you have to watch out for. So always stick to your meds, because when you come off them, you start a new path of the chemicals have been altered, and the body, the mind, and the brain isn't receiving the same chemicals that it was used to, and immediately a red flag goes off in the brain, and something is bound to happen. Secondly, it could be anything. So I've noticed, like sometimes it could be having a really bad day at work where, you got events of shame and extreme stress and nervousness, and something happened at work. Like in my case, I I I I, I lied on the job. Like I falsified information on a few documents, and I was so conscious about this that I got so nervous. And as I was telling my boss about what the mistake that I had made, I just went into a panic, and from there I just spiraled downward, and I started getting nervous and more nervous, and my palms started sweating, my palms started trembling, and this is the beginning again of the end. So it could be like an episode, an incident that brings you shame or great fear or nervousness. These are triggers that can stem off or begin an episode of, can begin a trigger, so to speak. Right. So another incident could be just you know just just different incidences, like relationships. Say you have a breakup. When I went through a breakup in one relationship, I was so upset and I was so nervous. I was so terrified. I was mad. All these emotions came through, and again, these were triggers that could lead to either being a depressed state or being into a manic state. So you just have to study yourself. Each person is different, and just make sure you keep an eye out for those triggers that make you feel nervous and weird, and and these are things that you have to watch for. When your palms start sweating, when you start trembling, when you start having accelerated speech, this is a time that you have to watch yourself. Like I always do a test. I put my palms up, and if they're trembling, I start questioning what could have made me, what I'm feeling at the time. I question myself. I ask myself, am I nervous? Am I feeling afraid? Am I feeling fearful? And I check myself. So everybody has to find out that thing about themselves that makes them tick. So just study yourself. But I've noticed the main thing is the medication. Once the medication stops, a lot of chemical changes go on, and you're bound to fall up in a spiral of either mania or depression. So stick to your medicine, and watch your emotions, and just keep a healthy support. Always have people who are accountable. Like talk to your family, ask them, like, am I coming off a little strange today? I just feel a little weird. Keep a journal handy where you can write down some notes about how you're feeling every day, like whether you're sad and you're unhappy, you're nervous, you're feeling fearful, you all those things. Extremely excited, you're irritable, stuff like that. Just keep a journal handy, and these can help you monitor how you feel. But you ultimately are your best guide to how you're feeling. So studying yourself and knowing what makes you excited and how to bring yourself back to those levels, taking a walk, calming down, taking deep breaths. This is all dependent on you, and you are your best, not doctor, but you're your best guide to your emotions. So other than that, that's all I can give and share about triggers. I'm trying to keep my videos short and concise so that people can get the information rapidly, and it can be in their possession quickly and as soon as possible. Therefore, with that, if you have any other queries, shoot me an email in my inbox or put a comment on my page, and I will be more than free to talk about these issues with you. Sometimes, I don't want to rush, but at the same time, I don't want to be too long-winded. So I'm going to keep this short. You know who you are. You asked for this video, and I'm giving it just for you. You know yourself. Take care of yourself, all of you. I love you all, and I want to hear from you. So just comment in the link, not in the link, but in the comment box below. Subscribe, and be a part of my world so I can be a part of yours. This is John Jalango, the Bipolar Ambassador, signing off, and wishing you well, and take care, and stay healthy, stay on your medication, and take care of yourselves. Bye. Later.